So, here we go. I haven't done a lecture in physics in a long time, as far as I can recall. But the term I want to talk about now is pertinent to other things as well. And the term that I wish to discuss is called the limit. Now, when we design an equation, we set limits. As a student, when you do integration in calculus, you are setting a limit to how many times you're going to examine a thing, how much information you're going to gather when what you're measuring is pretty simple and straightforward, and you only need to measure a small sample. There are other areas where setting a limit is less relevant today because powerful computers make setting limits irrelevant. Plus, when you set a really high limit and you study the nonsense data, you're interested in the nonsense data. However, back when Paul Dirac was developing his Dirac equations, he had rather specific limits in mind for how much you would do with a Dirac equation. He kind of set it for a maximum of 60, and that's good. In the world of small sample statistics, 30 is the size of your small sample. Large sample statistics, anyone's guess. But again, an area where you want to set a limit. So, in the world of integration, you're setting a limit in order that your calculus does not become unwieldy. Now, it's really straightforward. You did it in high school, didn't you? But the one thing you don't find, by contrast, is that in differential calculus there's no such limit. It doesn't exist. It's not part of the thinking. When you're doing differential equations, setting a limit is really not relevant because you're narrowing information, you're not expanding it. So differential equations, there's no such thing as a limit. I'm swigging this, by the way. I've lost my throat, in a manner of speaking. It's been very sore, but it's not particularly sore at the moment. So I can make a lecture on the limit. So what are other limits? Well, in the human dimension, we have limits as well. Limits to how much we'll tolerate, say in the behavior of others. We'll have a limit. This and no further, so to speak. And you test those limits at your own peril. For those of you who are, sorry, I must interrupt. And this is on a tangential point now, which I've made, but I think I'm going to make it every time it happens. I just seized. So you'll notice I'm a bit stunned and I'm a bit out of it for a while. And then I snap back. That is an experience that I've been having on a fairly regular basis. Unfortunately, it seems to be destroying my memory, so my nervous system is getting chaotic. Now, the irony is, at the same time that I've got things happening in my nervous system upstairs, my endocrine system is perfectly fine and happy and makes a lot of noise nowadays because there doesn't seem to be anyone in terms of a gatekeeper to stop it from expressing itself. And what does the endocrine system sound like? Well, let's say you're happy because you just had an ice cream cone and you go, that's not you thinking it, that's your body expressing it, and that's your endocrine system, your enteric nervous system having a conversation. The other thing is the common expressions, mama, papa, oh, yeah, in so many languages, not necessarily meaning the same thing. Yo, guess what that language is? Yeah, it's Czech, and guess what's going on? I'm not going to tell you that much. So I'm studying the time here. I've got 15 minutes a day on my YouTube allowance at the moment, so I might as well use the darn things. But I find myself without much to say, except we all have to set limits. And those limits in terms of relationships amount to the following. Let's stay within limits. Let's not mess things up by pushing the wrong buttons at the wrong time. La vie en fume. Boy, I'm really liking this silence. It's a massive improvement over that horrible music I was exposing you to. Oh no, there's another song coming up. Dread the thought. Alright, so where am I going with this? Yes, limits in terms of interpersonal relationships. Or perhaps getting to yes. Finding love. We all need to. Extemporalizing on same. I love doing that. So I'm melancholy and exhausted, dare say, dare do, dare thou, dare win some, and some you lose. So I'm in the middle of a transition on the back part of this room, which you can't see because I'm facing the camera that way, and the back part is that way. I'm going to be emptying it out and turning it into a little comfy little sitting area and shifting stuff around in the two back rooms, and I've got Studio U upstairs, so I'm still puzzling over, and I've got to get a bed at least. But a nice boudoir table would come in handy too. So I'm scouring around looking for some such things, but I figure a table on something with a mirror would do. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. Or I could just paint over the accents and put it back into general rental population. Be a shame though, because the rent is so low. Mind you, I'm very comfortable down here. It's so quiet, and I do like that. But strawberry milk. I drink a lot of this stuff. This one's getting a lot of play, isn't it? Yeah, I like it. I really like it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.